Hey, this is your girl, msyelladiva. I am bringing you another episode of Dexter Resurrection, Season 1, Episode 8. The kill room is where it happens. Okay. If you are new here, welcome. Welcome. We do reviews here. We are family here. Hey. And if you're returning, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. Welcome back, y'all. All right. Give me a thumbs up. Like and share and comment and subscribe to my channel. And we will begin. Okay. Listen. All right. So Angel Batista got his hotel room filled with all the Dexter stuff. I want to know who's cleaning this hotel room. And seeing all this crazy stuff. I want to know who cleaning this hotel room. Okay. Good. I would have been like, this man crazy, okay? But he got his little Apple phone recording all this stuff, about the Bay Harbor butcher and stuff like that. So when he turned up missing, they got some recordings and stuff, because he gonna turn up missing, okay? If you get too close, you gonna turn up missing. So, So that's what that is. He got to put all these little recordings out. Meanwhile, Dexter's shoulder acting up, but he still wants to eliminate Al. Okay, he wants to get rid of Al. So he calls Al. Al said he leaving for the Midwest. I think it's Wisconsin that he lives, or someplace. But after he see Hamilton, he going and he driving back to Wisconsin. Okay. So um Dexter wants to meet up with Al. So Al was like, "Hey, you can meet me, after Hamilton." Okay. So he was like, "Okay." So meanwhile, Prater is going over the details because he is donating a lot of money to the police force. And so he is going over the police gala. And he needs his police gala he needs a wheelchair accessible. Okay, so the lady got to go back and put a ramp on the stage. Okay. So Charlie is concerned about Red. Okay, she said he's elusive and secretive, and she feels like she missed something with bringing him into the little clique. And she was like, everybody turned up missing since he came into the clique. So she don't know what's going on. So Prater was like, well, I've gotten to know him and I trust him. And so Charlie was like, listen, you need to trust me. Man, you need to trust me and let me do my job. And so Prater was like, and what is your job again? And so she was like, keeping you safe. And he said, well, go do your job then. Okay. All right. Okay. Go do your job then. Okay. Okay. All right. Let the church say amen. So Harrison is watching Dante again. Elsa comes and says that her landlord turned the heat off now. Okay, so it's mold growing and he had turned the heat off. Okay, so it's gonna be real messed up in there. And Elsa said she's gonna have to find some place to stay because she was staying at the hotel too since he turned the heat off. But she gonna definitely have to find a place to stay this weekend because the police gala, is bringing a lot of people in, so the hotel is booked up. So Harrison got to find a place to stay as well, because you know the police gala is bringing in a bunch of police people. So I guess that's probably gonna be the season finale. Okay, anyway, so Dexter said, Dexter finds a spot, and he finds a spot for his kill room. It's a wig shop that apparently these wig people went on vacation. Okay, they went on vacation and they won't be back for, I don't know, a couple weeks or whatever. So he feels like that is the perfect place for him to do his business. Okay, for him to do his business. Okay, but his shoulder is giving him fits, so he gotta go back to Joy to get some acupuncture. So Angel uses his tracker to locate Dexter. Um, and he goes to the corner with the wig shop, and so but he don't know what store, what place that Dexter is in. He knows he was in that vicinity. So, but he don't know he was in the wig shop. So Detective Claudette Wallace and Detective Olivia Olivier, whatever. Okay, they have to go to Prater's gala, and Detective Wallace don't even want. She don't want to be bothered. Okay, she over here looking at things about the Bay Harbor Butcher in Miami on her computer. She looking all the stuff about the Bay Harbor Butcher. So, anyway, Dexter gets acupuncture from Joy. And Joy is distracted, so the acupuncture is hurting a little bit. I guess they got to put it in just right so it don't hurt. But apparently, she distracted, so now it's hurting. But she said she's distracted by her father blessing. I don't know. They about to move out the state or something, and Blessing is upset because she moving away. I mean, you gotta let her go sometime. I mean, she gonna come back and visit. Dexter opens his big mouth and he said, he's mourning the loss of his mother, because she did rescue him because he was a child soldier. Now, Joy knew that his grandmother, her grandmother rescued Blessing, but she didn't know he was a child soldier. Okay, and so she like, you only knew him for what, 3 weeks and stuff, and he telling you that he was a child soldier, but he couldn't tell me that, and so she put another needle in his in his chest, and he was like, ow, and she was just like, listen, I'm distracted, I gotta go. So she pulled all the stuff out. It did help a little bit though, but it didn't help. It didn't help Blessing. So now he got to talk to his daughter about being a child soldier. Anyway, Harrison calls his dad to meet up, and they meet up in the theater district because he got to get Al, after Hamilton. So Harrison tells Dexter about Elsa and the landlord, and so but he thinks Harrison thinks it's his fault because he kind of like cussed out the landlord when he came over. He kind of got in his ass, and so yeah, but he would Dexter's going to speak to the landlord, okay? And so Harrison was like, you ain't gonna kill him, are you? He said, you ain't gonna kill him, are you? He said, no, he don't fit the code. Texas said he don't fit the code. He just want to talk to him. He just want to talk, okay? So Dexter got stood up by Al, who was on his way back to the Midwest, okay? He on his way back to the Midwest, okay? Oh, so Dexter can concentrate on the landlord, okay? He says, he can't get to Al. He was trying to. He was like, "Well, why don't you give me your address? I can visit you in in Wisconsin." He was like, "No, no, it's okay. It's okay." So Al is back in the Midwest, out of uh, Dexter's reach right now. I believe he coming back in season 2. Okay, I believe he coming back in season 2. But for right now, he is gone. Okay, for right now. Anyway, so yeah, so Dexter can concentrate on the landlord. So Dexter goes to Blessing's house and asks his wife about tenant landlord procedures. So she gets out the handbook of the tenant landlord, New York State tenant landlord resource or whatever. And so now Dexter has something to work with when he goes to see the landlord. But then Blessing walks in, okay? And Blessing was like, Dexter, we need to talk, okay? So Blessing is upset that he wasn't honest with his daughter, okay? He should be mad at himself because he wasn't honest with his daughter. So what? Why you mad at Dexter? Okay, you ain't tell him it was a secret to keep it a secret from your daughter anyway. So, you can only be mad at yourself. Okay, that you didn't tell him that you was a child soldier. You ain't kill nobody. And if you did kill somebody, you can still say that you didn't kill anybody because she don't know. She don't know that you was probably raped, and you did a bunch of nasty stuff with all the soldiers and stuff like that. She ain't got to know all of that. She could have just known that you was a child soldier, and he rescued, and your mama rescued you from that. That's it. That's all you needed to tell. Okay. But you ain't even tell her that you was a child soldier, so you only have yourself to blame, Blessing. You can't be mad at Dexter. Also, you ain't tell him it was a secret. Okay, you ain't tell him it's a secret, so don't be mad at Dexter. I'm always gonna have Dexter's back. Don't be mad at him. Anyway, so he thinks that she will look at him like a monster. Why? Why? Why would she look at you like a monster? I don't know what my dad did. Okay, matter of fact, he was military police. I don't know if he killed somebody or not. I don't know if he killed somebody when he wasn't military police. That don't mean I'm gonna look at him any different. Okay, so I don't know what the problem is. Anyway, okay. My daddy was a hustler, so he probably did kill somebody. I don't know. He got a bunch of guns. I don't know. And I don't want to know. And I don't care either. I don't care. Okay. Okay. I don't care. I ain't gonna never look at my daddy any different. My daddy's my daddy. Okay. So Blessing was like, just imagine if Harrison knew you killed somebody. And Harrison, and Dexter was like, just one. Dexter was like, he know I killed a lot of people. Okay, but he didn't say that. He was thinking it though. He didn't say. He was thinking it. So Blessing was like, you betrayed me. Shut the fuck up.
Stop it.
Get some help.
Get some help.
Okay? Shut the fuck up. Okay? Okay? You betrayed me. Boy, if you don't, you is, and it ain't that deep. It ain't that deep. You should have told her in the first place. You are blaming. You are projecting. You are projecting. Point blank, period. Anyway, so Dexter goes to the landlord's office, but he won't speak to him. Okay, he's just having him sit out in the waiting room, and then she called back there, and he can hear the man saying, that man's still out there. I'm not coming out. And so he just walk in. And so he said, "You are the attorney?" "No." "You the cop?" "No." And then he didn't want to talk to him. So he walked out the door. So so later on, when I don't even know where he was coming from, but the landlord was jumped by Dexter in a with the pantyhose on his face. Okay, pantyhose on his face, and he was put into the trunk. That shoulder's better now, honey. That shoulder's better now. Yeah, but he had pantyhose on his head. Okay. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Gigi and Harrison go to some rave. Okay, and then Gigi tells Harrison that she wanted to be a detective, but since she got some nerve damage in her arm, that she won't pass the academy. So, so Harrison was like, "Well, listen, my dad, Dexter, he was a blood spatter specialist, and he put a lot of people behind bars. So you can still do something in the in the the police field or whatever." So yeah, so I guess Harrison gonna become a cop, and she gonna become a blood spatter analyst. Al gonna come back. these are in the extra seasons, okay? Because I think this is gonna be on for a while. So Al gonna come back eventually, and Gigi gonna be a blood spatter analyst, and Harrison gonna be a cop or a detective or whatever. Yeah. I sees it all. But so yeah, so anyway, so they go back to the hotel and smash. I thought the hotel was booked up. Okay. I'm just asking for a friend. I thought the hotel was booked up for a weekend. Whatever the case may be, he found the empty room and they smashed. Okay. All right. So back to the previous scheduled program. Dexter got the fat landlord on the table, on the kill table. He brings up the tenants and their needs, and the landlord rattled off all these names of tenants that could have like spoken with Dexter. Okay, he named a bunch of tenants. Okay, so basically, he is a slumlord. Okay, he ain't fixing nothing, and he got a bunch of complaints. Okay, because he rattled off a bunch of names. But anyway, Dexter says he said I am avenging all of them, especially the people who have mold in their apartment, because the mold suffocates him. So he suffocating him. Okay. While he talking, he was like, the mold suffocates him. It suffocates them. And the tenants can't breathe, just like he can't breathe either. Okay. So, meanwhile, Angel sees him at this same location again. So he decides to go over there. And then he sees this wig place with a bunch of plastic on it. And so he thinks that is where it is. So, he breaks in. And when he break in, the landlord is running out with a bunch of plastic on himself. Okay. Almost knocked down Angel running out. And so then he goes in there, sees all this plastic everywhere, and see the kill table and everything like that. And so he gonna go call Detective Wallace to come immediately. So she come, and um, he was like, yeah. He said, this is the exact scene of the Bay Harbor butcher, and he said uh he said what did he say? He said, "Oh yeah, this is the exact scene for the Bay Harbor butcher." So Claudette said, "Okay, so where's the body?" I'm sorry. And so he said, "Well, I stopped it before it happened." And so uh Olivier said, "Well, you fought Mr. Morgan? Where is he at?" And he said, "Well, no, he left before I came in." He said, "But the guy was a big motherfucker wrapped in plastic." And so Detective Claudette was said, "Well, did you free him?" And so he was like, "No, ain't Dexter must have." And so he said, "Well, why? Why would Dexter free him?" And so Claudette was like, "Well, did you see Dexter?" And Angel was like, "No, but I heard his car." I'm like, to the point where they was like, he was like, why are you looking at me like that? But anyway, so Detective Claudette said, "Well, did you get the name of the victim?" And Angel was like, I can describe him to you. He said what's this on my he said he's a thick uh big thick dude with black hair, and he looks Italian. So Olivia was like, "That's half the police force." And that's probably half of New York too. Okay. And so and so she and so uh Angel was like, "Well, do you think set this up?" You know. And so she was like, "Well, it can't, is that what you're trying to say to us?" And he was like, "No, I ain't trying to say nothing." And so Claudette was like, "Well, how did you find this?" And so Angel was like, "Well, I put a tracker in Dexter's car." And she was like, "Well, did you have a warrant?" He was like, "No, it was just AirPods." But meanwhile, Dexter found those AirPods and he destroyed them. And then he go home thinking that Angel bugged his whole apartment. But Harry was like, "Listen, he used AirPods to track you, so he working alone." He said because it would have been a little more. It would at least been a air tag. It would have at least been an air tag, okay? But it was AirPods, okay? So he working alone. So so Detective Claudette calls Detective Quinn for Miami homicide, and he was doing a case, and so she calls him, and she calls him about the Bay Harbor butcher. He was like that case has been closed for a long time, and so she was like, "Well, Detective Batista is here trying to uh trying to find the Bay Harbor butcher." And so she was like, he said, "Well, Detective Quinn said, well, Detective Batista retired." He's no longer on the police force. And so she was like, he is no longer active on the police force. And he said no, he retired. So Claudette, Detective Claudette he got, no, Detective Batista got some splaining to do. Some splaining, okay? But, the fat, black-haired Italian to landlord did turn the heat on, and he gonna fix the mold in his house. So, and Dexter asked asked not Dexter, Harrison asked Dexter, um what you say to him. What you say to him. He was like, I just let him know that, his tenants need to be taken care of. I didn't tell him that I tried to suffocate him, and I almost tried to kill him with a butcher knife. But I just wanted to let him know that he need to take care of his tenants. Anyway, so Harrison asked, can he spend the weekend with him? And of course, he loved the idea. And so, but they were in a restaurant. I'm sorry, they were in a restaurant, eating steak and everything like that. And so then Prater walks in, and Dexter looking at him like, why, why are you here? And so Prater was like, oh, Reg, you have a son. And so basically, and Charlie is waiting outside by the car. So this is to be continued on the next episode. Okay. So that was it. All right. So give me a thumbs up, like and share and comment and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.